Hey everybody, my name is Derek Kwan, Executive Director at Your Lead Center of Kansas, and I am so excited today to welcome to our leadership conversation one of our really phenomenal partners in this world. The Lead Center has been so fortunate to collaborate with this group and their executive producer and creative director on many things. And so please join me in welcoming Mr. Mica Thomas, who is the executive producer and partner with Quixotic, based out of Kansas City. Mica, what's up? What's going on?
Not too much. It's good to see you, Derek.
Yeah,
Thanks
man,
for
always good to
including
see
me.
you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be chatting with you.
Yeah, man. So I'd like to first touch upon kind of the history that we've had together over the last probably 7 to 10 years ish. I know that before I arrived at the Lead Center in 2014, Quixotic had performed here in a proscenium show. And then I know in 2015, we were so fortunate to have a residency with you, like a technical residency with you, where you had about a week to work here in the theater and were able to perform just this incredible show called Gravity of Center. And that was kind of the beginning of our expanded relationship and partnership, I would say.
Yeah, no, and it was such an amazing experience to work with you and your crew, and just to have the opportunity to create in a theater. I mean, that's something that especially at the time we just didn't have that opportunity at all. And to have somewhere where you could go and create a show that's in a proscenium theater was amazing and a game changer for us for sure. So thank you.
Well, no. I mean, we want to thank you. I mean, being a performing arts center, we want to be a place for really creative work to happen and new work, and especially artists that are based in our region. I think it's a responsibility of ours to help support artists in our region. And this pandemic has really amplified that in a lot of ways.
For sure.
And so after Gravity of Center, the whole experience blew our team away as well. So we were so honored again to host another residency with you for what I believe was the world premiere of a new work that you had developed that was the Firebird, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Firebird was awesome. Yeah, it was a very different version of Firebird. So it was fun. We had a great time, and again, it was one of those things where it was pretty magical because we had like all of our community and everyone coming together, and so many collaborators and amazing artists working on that project. So, but yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah, that was it was pretty amazing. I think everything from the costumes to the choreography to the cirque aspects of it, in the music. I mean, you did an incredible job of securing the rights to utilize, I believe, Radiohead's catalog, but obviously rearranged, reimagined in a Quixotic manner.
Yeah, they reorchestrated the whole thing. So they redid that was I think a year-long project for those guys. Is they went through and reorchestrated their own versions of the songs, and it was amazing. And we had such amazing musicians to come join us for that. It was incredible.
Yeah, what I love about Quixotic and what you're all about is that you are so welcoming of all the amazing community of artists that are in the Kansas City region. So if I'm not mistaken, in that hit orchestra for Firebird, I think the principal, the concertmaster of the Kansas City Symphony, Noah Geller, I believe was part of that. Yeah. And also I think closing the show was this incredible artist that was kind of breaking onto the scene, relatively speaking, at that point in time several years ago, Calvin Arsenio, right? Is that?
Yeah. And that was the first time to have vocals too. So it was just a showstopper right there at the end. And just like, it was pretty fun, but it was an amazing collaboration of people. And that's something that I really enjoy about our group, is that's very collaborative, and we have so many different types of artists that come together.
Yeah. The roster and basically, you know, in some industries, they call, you know, the people that you can call on your bench, like your bench strength. And if you have a strong bench, you know, if your bench strength is great, then you won't have any problems. But a lot of people in a lot of, especially artistic organizations, have a very shallow bench. But I think because of the very collaborative approach and communal approach that you and Anthony have taken, you know, over the last decade, you know, your bench strength is second to none, which is incredible.
I mean,
And
yeah, that's what makes it. I mean, that's what makes it 100%. So
yeah, no, and we'll get into some of how that bench strength is showing right now. But you know, after Firebird, something that I am personally very grateful for, and I know the whole Lead Center family is extremely grateful for, is the fact that Quixotic and you put together in a once in a lifetime type of program is celebrating our 25th anniversary here at the Lead Center. And it was part of our Lead Loves Lawrence Festival. I believe it was September 14, 15 of 2018. And you brought out you pulled out all the stops, man. I mean,
we wanted to do a good show for you, Derek.
Oh man, I mean, on the to give folks an idea who may not be familiar, on the facade of our stage house, our really massive stage house, Mica pretty much immediately when we were taking a site visit said, hey, you know, that's a perfect palette or perfect canvas for some, you know, crazy projections, crazy in a good way, projections. And you incorporated everything from, you know, 4 wall dancers that were dancing off, interacting with those projections, to all types of fire effects, pyro effects. And then not only that, you had all these LED lights and battery operated lights, and it was just mind blowing. And you know, you did it 2 nights, and people that came the first night loved it so much that they came back the second night, and it was free for the entire community. So that was the really important part, and we're so grateful to you for that.
Yeah, an honor. It was an honor. It's fun. It's fun. It's also very interesting, you know, to go to a theater and then not use the theater. And that was, you know, it's like, all right, how do we do a performance at this theater in a different way that's ever been done before? And so, yeah, we climbed up on your roof and took it over.
There's no doubt about that. So let's pivot now to the last 11 months. I know that when the whole industry was hit by the pandemic, and the world was hit by the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, you were coming out of a residency at an incredible hotel in Miami at the time, right?
We luckily we are actually coming out of our residency here in Kansas City,
right.
For Sensatia. And then we had another team that was over, but we had just ended the residency here. So, which felt good because it ended on our own control. And then we were halfway through a tech for another project in France. And so we narrowly made it back before they closed all the borders. So
yeah, so tell us a little bit about because Quixotic is pretty much the most adaptable, flexible arts performing arts organization that I've had the opportunity to collaborate with. So how quickly did you develop some new plans?
Well, I mean, I think the first month or 2 or 3, I don't really remember. I mean, we were all kind of, just like everyone was just kind of shocked and like, you know, what is this going to be? Is this going to be a couple months that this is happening? You know, what's going to happen? And as we kind of got, you know, 2 or 3 months into it, then we're like, this could be, you know, this is going to be a long-term thing. And so if, you know, we want to be able to do something, and is there a way to do something that's safe, doesn't put people in danger, but also provides some inspiration for an audience, or, you know, what can we do? So yeah, it was pretty interesting in how we got started. I mean, we definitely started with the online virtual shows, which for us was pretty interesting, because we pride ourselves in, having, kind of extravagant colored lights, and, it's kind of a little tech heavy. And so when you have people quarantined in their houses, it's like, how do you, we were setting up Zoom calls to set up, the different arrangements in their living room or something. And we drop off kits of like, here's some, LED lights, here's a fogger, here's a this, here's a that. And then they'd set it up in their living room. And we did a cabaret show of like basically going to everyone's house and doing acts. And it was pretty fun. It was a ton of work, but it was pretty fun. So, but that's kind of how we got started in trying to figure out how to be creative, because for us it was just like, we value all the artists that work with us so much, and realize that they have so much to give everyone, from artistic nature. And it's like, well, what can we do to help them to express that? And then after that, we moved into looking at outdoor things.
Yeah.
And and kind of also along that same time frame was, we started talking, and I was thinking, and it was like, because we're a collaborative group and that's what we like, it's like one of the first things that, as we started trying to figure out what to do, start calling people like yourself.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
and it was just like one of those things where it's like, I just felt like, I know that if you create, you kind of figure out how to help each other, then it's, you can always figure something out, and you don't feel as alone and stranded. So,
exactly.
But yeah, so reached out to, a couple people, and you were definitely at one of the people at the top of the list, and just to kind of see what was going on and see how to navigate what was to come. So.
Yeah. So something that you were very, very forward thinking on was developing a show on the roof of Crown Center. Is that the correct way to put it?
Yeah, Crown Center, the Westin Hotel. So when we first started doing outdoor little pop-up things, because again, we have these awesome performers that all they want to do is perform. And so we started doing little pop-up things, because no one's paying for entertainment, it wasn't a thing. And then we started doing pop-ups, and then we started going to lake communities and doing pop-ups at lake communities. And we basically just go out there and just, put up our Venmo, and people would just send tips. But when we go out to the lake, we'd set up our performance on the shore, on the dock, and then all the boats would anchor up. We sometimes have like a couple hundred boats out there, which was amazing. And then moved into the Rooftop Show, which was just like, all right, so if we can do these little pop-up shows and we can keep people spaced out, what's the next progression to that? And we were doing some kind of video shoot or something on this rooftop, and we're like, wow, this is such a great space. And it was huge, and like, we could do a show out here. And the hotel was, pretty quiet as well at that point. And so, figured it was a win-win for everyone to raise awareness about the hotel. And just because it's all about, people want to be, have something happen.
Yeah.
And it's so, it was so quiet. We did that show for probably 2 or 3 months, and it sold out every single night. And it was great. And we had support from the mayor, and he came, and, we kept everything very socially distant. People could come and go without even having to go inside. And ended up being a great experience until the weather turned.
Yeah. Before it got cold, right?
Yeah.
I think that's an incredible success story. And that was pretty much in parallel with us at the Lied Center, starting our Lied Loves Lawrence pop-up performances. where we obviously we engaged you and Quixotic to perform at about 4 of those performances. One of them was at LMH Health, which is the local hospital for the frontline healthcare workers, which was really powerful. Another one was in one of our great friends and supporters' driveways, which was awesome. Which I mean, which is what we were doing with all these pop-up performances. And you know, the third one y'all did with us in partnership with us was really special, because it was for a retirement community, and as we all know, the residents of retirement communities at that point in time had been very isolated for many months because of of COVID. And it was at Brandon Woods, and they're a great friend and partner of the Lead Center as well, and their staff mentioned to us that, and I saw several residents in tears that day, and their staff mentioned to us that there were several people that literally had not been outside in 5 months until Quixotic came to perform outside in the parking lots. So thank you all for that. I mean, that's exactly the kind of community and inspiration and positivity and joy that the performing arts can bring to people in times of crisis and in times of real challenge. And y'all are the perfect people to do that, because as I think it was Matt maybe said, you know, we don't need a stage. We don't need it. We just need some space. That's it. Like,
yeah, that's been the beautiful thing about our group and creators of people is that, because, you know, we are used to just thinking in abstract ways about everything. It's made us be able to adapt to different scenarios, and especially during the pandemic. But it's been really great, because then we're able to have these meaningful collaborations with people like you to go do projects like we did for that series. And I mean, I know that was a huge thing for all the performers and all the artists that worked on that, just because, you know, it makes you feel good that you're being able to give and help and do something positive to like kind of uplift everyone. And that was, I know, a very big thing for all the artists, and like mentally was a big turnaround for a lot of the people. So.
Well, man, we appreciate that so much. And, you know, we will continue to do some pop-ups with you once the weather gets a little warmer.
Right.
And you know, that's, I had mentioned kind of bench strength before. And, you know, by the time this video screens, we will have released this amazing video that you helped create, that you created for us in partnership with us. And
work together.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's the creativity. I mean, it's all you, man, all you got. Quixotic, you. I mean, it's like, when you called in, I think it was probably April or May, we were just checking in and seeing how things were progressing. I mean, we were brainstorming about all different kinds of ideas, you know, everything from pop-ups to, you know, site-specific types of things where you have like stations and move from station to another, like kind of what you do at the Arboretum in Overland Park. But one of the ideas that you had brought up was the idea of filming something pretty special at the Lead Center that could serve as what I kind of think of now as kind of a love letter to the community from the Lead Center in a way.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
And you know, and it's just developed, and so we that kind of sat dormant for, I don't know, a few months, and then I think in December-ish we connected again, as you were in the midst of other all different other kinds of projects and getting ready for some things, and in January it's like, okay, let's do this, because one of your team members had also developed some new skills from a point. In terms of being an FAA approved certified drone operator, right? And the timing worked great, because a lot of your core performers were going to be heading down to Miami But tell me a little bit about like how you visualize that process, because you were really the mastermind behind the whole thing kind of coming together. You're the glue that brought it all together.
I think for me, it's like, it's something, you know, there's something so special about a theater, something, you know, where everyone comes together, shares a moment, this magical moment. And so it's like, how can we kind of, you know, take them through the theater to see, you know, it's still here, it's waiting for you, it's ready.
That's right.
And, you know, when it's the right time, you know, everyone will come back. And so I think just kind of giving, you know, thinking about that and having, you know, staying at the forefront of people's minds, I think is important, you know, because when things just go completely dark for a year, you know, people drift to different ways. But to have like a presence, and you guys have done a really great job of that. But to have a presence that keeps it fresh in people's minds and makes it special for them. And so it really was about, you know, what can we do to give them a virtual tour throughout the space and have these little moments of kind of magic, you know, throughout that you could kind of pick up on, and then just kind of, you know, give them a little reminder of things to come.
Yeah, man. It was a, you know, kudos to you for that really brilliant idea. You're absolutely right. There were these pockets of magic happening all over the building, and showing that creativity and creative work was still thriving, you know, in the theater, even though it was the doors were technically closed. But yeah, man, and the staff loved it. I mean, it was such a morale booster for the staff as well, because the staff was, you know, featured in it as well. So that's somewhat unusual as well. But I want to, you know, make a point here that I've always said that when people ask me like, "Oh yeah, you know, you guys work with Quixotic?" I say, "Yeah." I mean, they are the future of the performing arts in the present. And the reason I say that is because what other performing arts organization can do pop-up performance, proscenium shows, rooftop shows, but also put together this incredible short film without even thinking about it. I mean, it's just natural to you all, which is so impressive. So kudos to you all for that. And I really do think Quixotic represents the future of the performing arts in the present. And going back to the bench strength. So when we filmed that love letter from the Lied Center to the community, that was just a few days before several of your team members were going to be heading down to Miami. And tell us a little bit about what's going down in Miami right now, or what happened. First of all, what happened on Valentine's weekend, and then what's going on now?
Oh, well, yeah. So I'll start with to go back to what you were saying earlier too, with so our rigger who does all the rigging for all the aerial performance and stuff. So what he basically did with most of COVID was just learn how to fly drones, and has become amazing at it. It blows me away. Like, he's flying through these little things. I mean, I'm sure people will see it in the video, but yeah, it was incredible to me to see him make all that progress doing that. But yeah, so as we've kind of progressed, it's been interesting, you know, like everyone else, you know, we're itching to go, but also trying to, you know, wait till it's safe and appropriate and all of those things, and make sure that we're doing the right thing and caring for our people and caring for the audiences. But so we are currently just starting our first show back in Miami. The winter was definitely slowed down. We tried to, you know, work in some new things, worked on some different commercials and stuff like that, and did some virtual shows. But yeah, the Miami show is the first one back, which has been crazy. And the biggest thing that is so intense with doing the shows, I mean, any show since the pandemic started, is that it's now, you feel like you have what you put on the stage, and then you have the production element, right? Those are kind of like the two things as you go into tech that you deal with. Now you have a whole third leg of COVID
Safety.
protocol and safety and this and everything like that. So it's a whole new thing that's been added to this that takes up just as much time as, you know, planning the production or choreographing the pieces. You spend that much time doing COVID protocol and safety stuff and testing and this and that. And so that's been, you know, been pretty crazy to try to figure out, you know, all the different protocols to follow and how to write up all the stuff. But I mean, that's been one of the big crazy things in creating this, but it's a little bit harder than it was before, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're trying to figure it out in the safest possible way we can. So,
Well,
yeah, so we're moving forward.
yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's just so encouraging to see that this process is underway, and that you've been able to figure out ways to do it both extremely creatively, but also with the utmost safety and health considerations at the forefront. So that's just fantastic. So hopefully, you know, in the next few months, we'll see a massive change from a public health perspective. And we can't wait to have you back, you know, on the big stage in the proscenium, you know, with your newest proscenium show. We really can't wait until that happens.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, we're excited to get back in there.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you know, when it gets warmer, we'll definitely be bringing you back for some pop-up performances when it gets warmer. And that's the great thing about your incredible network of artists that are part of your family. You know, even if you've got a show going on halfway across the country or halfway across the world, there are so many incredible artists that are part of your family that can do things still locally too. So that's pretty amazing. But Mica, man, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today. This is a real treat for me because I just enjoy conversing with you in general. So, you know, all the best to you and the entire Quixotic family. And I hope that everything, I know you're taking all the right precautions. Everything's going to go great in Miami. And can't wait to see you soon here in locally as well.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And I do want to congratulate you too, Derek. I mean, you've really kept good energy at the Lied Center, and you can really feel it with all the people when we were there doing that video. It was pretty amazing to see. So,
well, we as you know, well, as we both know, we try and stay positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that staying busy and positive is key to not getting into a rut and not getting into a space that may not be as productive. So, yeah, man, thank you for everything. And can't wait to see you again in person.
Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it.
Take care, man.
All right. Take care.